In the far future, in a galaxy not so far away, war is waged amongst the stars for many years. But now, there is peace. The once mighty mechanized armies are disbanded. Their pilots disparate and searching for purpose. There are always adventures to be had, battles to be fought, a peace to be protected, all from the pilot's seat of their men. What life will they lead amongst the stars of the Astral Union?
Appa and I have come across a planet called One Rock. It's an arid land. Only the hardiest or most reckless try to live there. It's known colloquially as the Badlands. The settlements are small, and any information or trade happens through word of mouth only. So we decide to make planetfall. We've been travelling for a while and could use a break. Besides, this place is hostile to vegetation, but not livestock. I've realised that Appa is incredibly fond of animals, so this should be a nice recharge for them, or their AI at least. I'm still not entirely sure how the Iron Core forms personalities, but I love my gentle giant nonetheless.
The Iron Core system. It was developed by the Curve for war against the Urgon, as a way of increasing their pilots' reaction times. The Curve are renowned for the study of latent psionic potential in all sacred beings, and it is believed this is what helped them develop the mind-machine connection known as the sync bond.
Okay, we've managed to land near a small settlement. A fledgling hamlet at most, but it does have a watering hole. A place to have some downtime and make some new friends. Maybe. Hopefully. I won't take it personally that the locals are wary of strangers. I don't think it was to do with my appearance, is what I'm saying. I think you just have to be a little standoffish to survive out here.
The Urgon, towering bear-like mammals in the League of Urvo. The League is the origin point of mech development, originally created as heavy mining equipment, but weaponized for early border clashes with the Curvion Prefecture.
Quite suddenly, there's a commotion as a local farmhand is brought into the watering hole. They were gibbering wildly about something that attacked the herd on their watch. They're covered in cuts and bruises, their eyes were wide, frantic, and refused to blink in case the attackers appeared again, I assume. I can feel Appa's concern at the mention of a herd being assailed. I tried to calm the farmhand down and offer my services, but failed to get a coherent answer. The barkeep pointed me in the direction of the ranch though, so off we go, I suppose.
The herd. Malhoons are a giant, peaceful, grazing creature with heavy horns. In this land, their feed is of an artificial origin, which means this mega flock need not be moved as often as most.
Once we found the herd, Appa and I watched from a shallow hill, surveying, assessing. Then a spark flashes at one of the perimeter fences. A small fleet of mech vehicles roll into the paddock and begin to give chase, separating the smaller young Maloons from the herd. Huge lassos of reinforced cable launched and restrained the bucking animals as they were trying to force them into a giant hauler mech. They were rustlers. I swear, Appa started moving before I'd even thought about it. I think we managed to spook them even before the power blade was drawn. They quickly released the cables, and the mechs that could had put their arms in the air in surrender. The rustlers were quick to explain that they didn't damage the paddock fences, but have been sneaking through the holes left by something else. As I watched them leave, looking suitably chastised, Appa began petting and making a rhythmic soothing rumble at the balloons.
The Astral Union has been at peace for decades since the defeat of the Nephilim, ending the desire for mech with purely military applications. Many older battle mechs were reconfigured to suit civilian usage. When a pilot leaves their mech, it will happily revert to its specialization. APA, Specialization Shepherd. The mech will care for local animals, helping them cross streams, and generally fussing over them.
That evening, we patrol the paddocks and find track marks. They're huge, but clearly don't belong to the Maloons. Deep set into the ground. They don't seem to look like any mech, vehicle or animal tracks either of us recognise. As we investigate them though, one thing is clear. They're recent. I climb back into my piloting seat and raise Appa's shields. That's when the tops of the hills begin to shake, loose earth and rock sliding down as something large makes its way towards the paddock. A long snout of plated metal sits above a mouth of sharp teeth. The groaning of a metal engine grows into a howl as the strange beast, a fusion of metal and flesh, raises its head to the sky. The wild cry subsides into a snarl as the head lowers. Yellow eyes fixed us with a sharp and hungry gaze. No time for thoughts of what or why this creature exists. We move. The auto blasters on Appa's shoulders spring up and fire. We then press the attack, running up towards the beast as it reeled back from the blaster fire. Power blade drawn and striking true. We need to use our advantage. Appa is built for speed and agility, not a drawn-out fight. As we try to attack again, the wolf thing draws up its head and howls. A sonic blast that discombobulates, makes us pause long enough for it to swipe its claws at us. But Appa is faster and deflects the blow, pushing the beast's momentum towards the ground, its snapping maw hitting rock. I try to get my mech to disengage, put some distance between us and this grotesque biotech fusion, but Appa refuses to stop, determined to have some sort of revenge for the slaughtered livestock. The power blade finds a weak spot where the metal plates don't meet and delivers a powerful blow to the beast. Unfortunately, this appears to put the creature into a frenzy. It rips and tears at us, rending the mech shielding. A flurry of claws and teeth. Appa can barely stay upright with the weight of this thing bearing down. No chance to swing the blade. I urge Appa to disengage. We need to re-establish good ground, get our bearings. But the wolf has its claws embedded in the metal shielding of my mech. So I do the only thing I can think of. I open my pilot door. Kick it open, to be precise. It is a strange sensation to be in the midst of a titan battle with nothing between you and your giant, slathering metal opponent but air and hope. But the distraction worked, and Appa was able to catch the next swipe of a claw, flip the creature onto its back with a ground-shaking throw, and drive the power blade into its chest, ending the twisted experiment.
The Wild Wolf. The mechanical parts are made by Dragnos Industries. The biological parts are an odd mixture similar to those seen during the war with the monstrous Nephilim. This experiment is created by Dragnos Industries in an attempt to fuse biological material with mechanical to create the mecha equivalent of an attack dog. It did not go well.
When we explain to the farmers what had happened, they are equal parts elated that it's over and shocked at the mech creature that lay at our feet. After surveying the various parts the experiment was composed of, we bury it. Well, Appa does most of the work, but they seem content that the beast is finally laid to rest. Such a sentimental mech I've ended up partnered with. A travelling merchant and mechanic stumbles upon us as we finish up and offers us some needed repairs from their mobile workshop. Whole and hearty again, I look to Appa and appreciate that through the sync bond, I don't have to say out loud that our journey will have to continue. We need to look into the Dragnos Industries to see if we can get to the bottom of how and why they're using Nephilim resources in the outskirts of the Astral Union. My mech reaches out its giant hand and I climb into the pilot seat once more.
The days of calamitous wars waged by legions of battle mechs are long gone. Many towering machines, now retrofitted, help build rather than destroy. But small bands of pilots still operate as mercenaries, adventurers, and peacekeepers on the fringes, at the dangerous and ungoverned edges of the Astral Union. Colonists frequently settle these worlds. People travel from every culture, species, and background to begin new lives here with fresh hopes, peaceful